Well, hello friends. Mark Spade here. It's been a while. As always, hope this video finds you well. Hope that you are enjoying a warm pipe, a favorite blend, and a comfy chair. I myself am smoking out of my meerschaum, and in it, Windjammer, GLPs. If memory serves me correctly, this jar of Windjammer, this batch, is about a year old. It's had a little bit of time to mellow out, but Windjammer, in my opinion, packs a bit of a punch all the time. And it's great this time of year. Matter of fact, it was about this time of year last year where I paired it with some tea, and it was wonderful, and I still agree with that pairing, but I also theorized a pairing that I will try here in just a minute. But first, let's talk about the elephant, right? Where in the world have you been? Well, I've been here and there and everywhere else too. Reality is I've been taking a little bit of a break from all forms of social media, really. Starting with the YouTube channel, and now I'm off of Facebook and all that stuff too. I just needed some time to recenter, spend that time with my family, tend to things that were more important, right? I have a way of ordering obligations, or at least trying to order obligations, and well, just so happens that making videos is pretty low on that totem pole. But I have missed y'all. I've missed making videos. I've missed talking to my friends here on YouTube and being a part of this thing, right? This thing, the YTPC, the YouTube pipe community. Essentially, if you are a pipe smoker and you smoke your pipe on YouTube, you qualify to be in this umbrella, whether you like designations or not, right? I don't think I'm in a box because of it. I mean, good grief. We talk about pipe smoking, and we talk about more philosophical things, some symbolic things, and you know, that's what I like to talk about. That's what this channel's about. And I'm back, so I'm pretty excited. I'm excited. I got a lot of stuff to talk about, right? The bucket is overflowing with ideas. So yeah, the lack of content hasn't been for lack of something to say. It's just not having the time to string together a coherent thought and share it with anyone. And that's kind of what's beautiful about this whole thing too, right? Isn't it? Is you can cast a wider net. You know, you don't have to be Plato and Socrates and have, you know, nailed the art of rhetoric and grammar to convey a point and have people enjoy it, right? You can just be a person that talks and put it up here on the internet, and you'll find more people that at least are interested in what you have to say and might even like it sometimes. So, that big long ramble, it's good to be back. Most recently, I was out of town, and you know, I wasn't ascending mountaintops and meeting with mystics or anything, as cool as that would have been. I've really just been spending this time doing sports and you know, taking people places, right? I got two kids, and both of them are in school. Both of them have after school activities, you know, stuff like that. My son's playing flag football. We do Boy Scouts. He's getting back into karate. My daughter is on a competitive dance team. I mean, we got stuff to do around here. You know, the wife works, I work. Everybody's got stuff going on. So we've taken a few breaks since we spoke last, and most recently we went to one of our favorite spots in the great state of South Carolina, and enjoyed some time, you know, on the coast there. And my lighter stopped working. You know, it ran out of fluid, and while I had other means of starting fire, none of it was good for lighting a pipe. So I figured I'd give this a go. It's the Bic, you know, the one that Martha Stewart, Willie Nelson, and Snoop Dogg keep talking about. I figure if it's good enough for them, it should be good enough for me. It's a soft flame. Do I love it for this? Not necessarily. It's a bit more directional, I find. See? But as opposed to a typical Bic, my fingers appreciate it. So it'll work. Hmm. It's a good blend. Let's try the beverage now. The beverage that I've been wanting to try with this blend specifically is Vernors. So I'm going to give this a go. And then I promise I'll talk about something interesting. Oh yeah. They just work. That's beautiful. I recommend, you know, if your palate and gut can handle Windjammer and Vernors, to give it a go. You know, if not, then feel free to live vicariously through me. So I've been talking for a really long time about mostly nothing. Let's give it a go. Um, Ordering priorities, something that I touched on at the beginning of this very long video now. So if you're still here, let's give it a little primer. I believe that I have kind of figured out a generally true, generally well thought out set of priorities, right? A way of keeping myself in line and tending to things as they should be tended to, right? Putting things in their right spot. If I didn't think this was right, I wouldn't think it, right? So here it is. I think that first, if you think about it more like a set of filters through life, you know, first think that it's good to identify God and to have a relationship with God. You know, so who is God? What is God? Um, where is God? How is God? You know, those kinds of questions. Really interrogate that. Don't just accept it for what somebody else says it is. Really define God and put God in the proper spot in your life. Now, let's say, you know, well, Mark, I don't have a God. Well, all right, then moral good, right? Something to hold a high standard place in your life that will govern the rest, right? Because when you put something else in the God spot that shouldn't be there, like the following priorities, well, things will be skewed, right? Things will be misprioritized. You'll give something a bit too much reverence, a bit too much time. So there we have it. Next, you need family. Now you look at family through the lens of what first does God say about family, right? So you've taken the time to identify God. So now ask yourself what God, what this chief good has to say about family. let that inform your opinions on family and inform how you prioritize family. So, for me, and who I pray to and who I believe in, my wife is first and foremost important. If you don't have a wife, carry on, right? Um, but for me, I have a wife, so the wife comes first, and then the children, right? These are my first and foremost priorities. Nothing else can be more important in terms of anything else in the tangible world than those individuals in my life. If I put something else in front of them, if I put something else above them in the order other than God, well, then we're going to have chaos. We will give way to some form of chaos. You will have a struggling marriage. You will have a a barrier between you and the children in which you are supposed to be stewarding through life. So first God, then family, and God orders my family. So I have my wife, my children, and then from there I will have, my parents, my siblings, cousins, extended family, and so on, right? And I tend to things in that way. Now, family dynamics are tricky, and you don't always have the relationship opportunities that you might want, and so then you, instead of substituting them, you just move on to the next one, right? If you are unable to have a good relationship with your parents for reasons X, Y, or Z, table that for now and focus on being a good sibling instead, and still prioritize being a good child, right? Being a good son or daughter, but you might not be able to live out anything further than that, right? So just prioritize your role in this and do that to the best of your ability. Continue. Again, or excuse me, to be clear, these are for instances, right? Not everything, but one shoe doesn't fit everybody, right? One size does not fit all. So apply these things accordingly. So we have God, then we have family, then what's next? Well, your vocation, right? Your means of providing something for the previous two, and it facilitates any kind of provision that you might be able to have for the following. Right? So vocation is important. Now, not everybody has a job. Not everybody needs a job. Not everybody has the same kind of job, right? It's all going to be different. It's rather subjective, really. But you first, again, look at your vocation through that God filter, right? What does God have to say about your vocation? Well, again, for my case, I just have to do my very best, right? So I have to do my work like I'm doing it for my God, because that's what my God tells me to do when it comes to work. My work can't come before my family because it is third in this order here. So I also have to consider my family when I'm considering work, right? Um, does work interfere with my ability to provide in not just financial ways, but emotionally, right, for my family? And if it does, then I need to adjust something, right? We could spend more time here, but I'm going to move on now. So, next, you've got God, family, vocation. Now we have community. So, you can't put hanging out with the guys in front of time with God, in front of time with family, or in front of work, right? Yet time with the guys comes later. And community isn't just your friend circles. Community is also where you have the opportunity to impact the world around you. Because so far everything has been rather personal. Yet you can impact people at work or through your work, but specifically taking time to tend to the community in which you are a part of. It takes a bit of effort, it takes a bit of time. And whatever form that takes, whatever it is that you're inclined to do at that, or in that capacity, at that level, right? You do it. And again, you let God inform that decision, then you let family inform that decision, and then you let work inform that decision. Right? We all like the idea of being this benevolent, uh, you know, financial, in, financially inclined individual, right? And giving lots of money to the children's hospital or to the orphanage or to this movement or that movement or whatever. But you can't sacrifice necessities that come from the first three priorities for community things. And by sacrifice, I don't mean, oh, I don't get to buy the $300 bicycle, I have to buy the $100 bicycle. I don't mean that. That's not what I mean. I mean, you can't put your family in hard times. You can't uh, sidestep, any kind of obligations that your faith might call for in monetary senses, right? For any kind of community function that you might be a part of. And for the sake of time, let's move on to the last one, self. And it's not that self is the least important, because in a way, self is going to be nurtured in profound ways through these four previous filters. But it's important to remember the self in all of this. You'll get burnt out in service to God, right? You'll get burnt out in constantly giving yourself to your family. You'll get burnt out by working too much, and you'll get burnt out by doing too much in the community. You have to have time to find yourself, to know yourself, to reflect, to get your bearings, to rest. All of that is important as well. And so that's why self is last, but also quite important, right? And again, what you know about yourself, what you think about yourself, what you do for yourself is informed by the previous filters. But I do believe that ordering your life in this way is, uh, well, is a path to success. And I think that that's what I've been trying to do better at. It's a constant evolution, constant improvement, but that would explain the hiatus, right? In terms of my presence here on YouTube and perhaps a break in conversation because I've got other things that demanded my attention, right? And part of my self work is to really take time to enjoy pipe smoking. And I can't do that if I've got 30 minutes to sit down just to make a video, right? So I don't think I needed to do all of this explaining on that front, but I just wanted you guys to know I have missed this time and missed being able to share with you. And so I figured this is a good way to get back into things, is to talk about where I've been, what I've been up to, and why you haven't heard from me in several months. I'm going to get back now to enjoying the rest of this Windjammer and the rest of this can of Vernors, and get back to tending to my things. But I'm very much so looking forward to diving into some topics again, finishing up a couple series that I'd started months ago, and just being back able to engage with my friends here. So, with that, I'm Mark Spade. Thanks for watching.